Okay, so picture this. You're anchored off, one of those stunning tropical islands, right? The sun's setting. You've got a drink in hand.
Paradise.
Exactly, paradise. But you're trying to send like a super important work email.
Oh, no.
And your internet is just crawling.
I've been there.
Ugh, it's the worst, right? That feeling of like being totally at the mercy of bad internet.
Especially when you're on a yacht.
Exactly. You're supposed to be having this luxurious connected experience.
Right. You want it all.
Yeah. So that's actually what we're diving into today.
Oh, perfect timing.
You've got tons of info from Marine Data Solutions.
I've heard of them.
They're down in South Florida, and they're making some serious waves by installing Starlink high-performance systems on yachts.
Interesting.
They shared some really cool stuff about why this tech is like the next big thing for yachting and how to make sure your connection is always smooth sailing.
Even miles offshore.
Even miles offshore, which is amazing.
Yeah. What's really interesting is that Starlink was first made for like houses,
Right.
But Marine Data Solutions figured out how to make it work perfectly for yachts.
It's like they cracked the code.
Exactly.
So help me out here. Why is everyone so excited about Starlink on yachts? I mean, is reliable internet really that essential when you're supposed to be, escaping everything?
Well, it's becoming more and more essential, I think.
Okay, how so?
It's not just about checking email or scrolling through social media anymore.
Right, it's 2025.
Exactly. Yacht owners are running businesses remotely. They're attending virtual meetings, and everyone's streaming movies and shows constantly.
All while they're on board.
Exactly. And traditional satellite internet with all its latency issues and spotty coverage, it just doesn't cut it for that kind of stuff.
You mentioned latency. Can you explain that for those of us who aren't like tech geniuses? And why does it matter so much when you're out at sea?
Sure. So latency is basically the delay between, when you click something and when something actually happens.
I see.
High latency means things are slow video calls. Freeze downloads take forever.
Ugh, online gaming is impossible.
Exactly. And at sea, where the signal can be unreliable, low latency is super important for a good internet experience.
Makes sense.
And that's where Starlink comes in with its network of low Earth orbit satellites.
Okay.
So it offers way faster speeds and lower latency than the old satellite internet.
So it sounds like Marine Data Solutions is like the bridge between this cool new technology and the needs of yacht owners?
Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it.
What makes them different from just calling up any Starlink installer?
Well, they really get that installing Starlink on a yacht is totally different from installing it in a house.
Oh, I bet.
They have certified technicians who are not only experts on the technical stuff, but also understand the challenges of being at sea.
Like, what kind of challenges are we talking about? What are some of the obstacles they face when they're putting Starlink on a yacht?
Well, imagine trying to mount a satellite dish on something that's constantly moving.
Right.
Plus, you have to deal with things blocking the signal, like masts, radar equipment, even the shape of the yacht itself.
Oh, wow. I wouldn't have even thought of that.
And then there's the salt spray, the sun, the rocking motion, all things that can really mess up a normal Starlink dish.
So it's definitely not as easy as just sticking it on the deck and hoping for the best.
Nope, not at all. Marine Data Solutions uses a super detailed 4-step process for their installations.
Tell me more.
They start with a pre-installation assessment.
Okay.
They look at the layout of the yacht, find anything that might block the signal, and figure out the absolute best place for the dish.
They said they even consider the angles of the masts and the materials used on the yacht.
They really do think of everything.
So what happens after they figure out where to put the dish?
Then they move on to secure mounting and setup.
Okay.
This is where the marine expertise is really important.
Gotcha.
They think about wind resistance, how much the vessel moves, and the overall structure of the yacht.
To be sure the dish stays put.
Right, but also to make sure it's in the best position to get the strongest signal possible, even in rough seas.
It's amazing how much detail goes into this.
It is.
And this is where that marine-grade Starlink dish comes in, right? What makes it different from the regular one?
You got it. The regular Starlink dish is fine on land, but it's not made to survive at sea.
Right.
The high-performance version they install is specifically designed for yachts.
I see.
It has a wider viewing angle so it can track more satellites, even when the yacht is rocking back and forth.
That's smart.
And it's made of tougher stuff so it can handle salt spray, sun, and everything else the ocean throws at it.
Okay, I'm starting to see why choosing the right installer is so important.
Absolutely.
Marine Data Solutions clearly goes above and beyond.
They do.
You mentioned they service specific marinas. Where are they located?
They're based in South Florida.
Makes sense.
The yachting capital of the U.S.
Of course.
And they work with some of the biggest names in marinas. They mentioned Bahia Yachting Center, Safe Harbor Lauderdale Marine Center, Bradford Marine, Fort Lauderdale, Marinemax, Pompano, and Marinemax, Miami.
Wow, that's quite a list. So if you're a yacht owner at one of those marinas, they're the people to call for Starlink High Performance.
Definitely.
But let's get into nitty-gritty. What are the actual benefits? What can yacht owners really do with this system on board?
Well, Marine Data Solutions highlights three main advantages.
Okay, I'm listening.
First, you get crazy fast speeds compared to old satellite internet.
Which is crucial for all the stuff we talked about before.
Exactly. Streaming video calls, large files, all that.
And I bet that speed is even more important when you're offshore where the signal might be weaker.
You're absolutely right. That's their second key point: reliable connectivity, even far from shore. They specifically mentioned getting a solid connection in the Caribbean.
Which is known for having terrible internet.
Exactly.
So imagine you're anchored off some secluded beach in the Bahamas, crystal clear water everywhere, and you can still stream your favorite show's work without interruptions, even have a perfect video chat with family back home.
It's like magic.
It totally changes how we experience life at sea.
It really does. And their third point is all about durability, to make sure those benefits last.
We talked about the tough design, but what else?
They talk about the UV-resistant casing to protect from the sun, special coatings to prevent corrosion from salt spray, and even reinforced mounting brackets that can handle strong winds and the constant rocking of the yacht.
That's what I'm talking about. Real details, not just marketing fluff.
Exactly.
So we've covered the first two steps of their installation process. What comes after they've securely mounted the dish?
The next step is network configuration and testing.
Okay.
They make sure your Starlink system is working with your yacht's existing network.
So everything talks to each other.
Right, and they run speed tests to make sure everything is working as it should be and that all your devices can connect seamlessly.
It's like fine-tuning a musical instrument.
Exactly.
They're really meticulous about making sure everything's terrific.
They are.
So once that's done, you're good to go, right? Sail off into the sunset with perfect internet.
Almost. Marine Data Solutions emphasizes the importance of ongoing support.
Right.
That's the fourth and final step.
Oh, okay.
They offer 24/7 support even after the installation is done to deal with any problems that come up.
So they don't just leave you hanging.
Not at all. Whether it's troubleshooting connectivity issues, providing system upgrade, or making adjustments, they're there to make sure you're getting the most out of your Starlink system.
That's great, especially when you're dealing with technology at sea.
For sure.
So it's not just a one-time installation, it's an ongoing partnership.
Exactly.
That's reassuring.
It is.
So let's say I'm a yacht owner, and I'm totally sold on Starlink High Performance.
Okay.
But maybe I'm not in South Florida, so I can't use Marine Data Solutions.
Right.
What advice would they give to someone like me who's looking for a good installer?
They actually offer some really good advice on their website that applies to everyone no matter where you are.
Perfect. Let's hear it.
The biggest thing they emphasize is finding an installer with marine-specific expertise.
Okay, so it's not enough to just know how to install Starlink.
Exactly. They need to understand the challenges of being at sea, the motion, the signal obstructions, the weather, the specific needs of a yacht's electrical system and network.
So someone who's great at installing Starlink in homes might not be the best for a yacht?
Exactly. The second thing they recommend is looking for a proven track record.
Okay, so don't just take their word for it.
Right. Check online reviews, ask for references, talk to other yacht owners, do your research to make sure they have a history of happy customers.
That makes sense. You want someone who knows what they're doing, especially when it comes to something as complex as this.
Exactly. And lastly, they talk about convenient service locations.
Okay.
You want to choose an installer who can service your system at a marina that's easy for you to get to.
So you don't have to travel halfway across the world for maintenance or repairs.
Exactly.
So to recap, look for marine expertise, a good track record, and convenient locations. Solid advice. It sounds like they really care about making sure yacht owners have a good experience with Starlink, even if they're not in their service area.
They do. They're really committed to sharing their knowledge and helping people make good decisions.
It shows they have integrity.
For sure.
Okay, so we've covered a lot in this first part. The demand for good internet at sea, why Starlink High Performance is a game changer, and the importance of choosing the right installer.
We have.
We even got some tips on how to find a good one.
Yeah.
But I think the best is yet to come.
Oh, I agree.
After a quick break, we'll dive into what this technology means for the future of connectivity at sea and how it could completely change the yachting experience.
I can't wait.
Stay tuned. Okay, I am seriously picturing myself streaming movies while anchored off in like the Bahamas somewhere.
It's tempting, right?
So tempting. But before we get too lost in those daydreams, I'm really curious about what you mentioned before, the future of Starlink at sea.
Ah, yes. This is where things get really interesting.
Okay, tell me more.
As Starlink keeps expanding its satellite network, we're going to see even faster speeds, lower latency, and wider coverage. Just imagine real-time online gaming on your yacht, or even telemedicine consultations with doctors back on shore.
That's wild.
Or how about this live streaming your underwater explorations from the middle of the ocean?
No way.
All without a single hiccup.
That is next level stuff.
It really is. It's like Starlink could become this ultimate bridge between being online and the freedom of being out at sea.
It's the best of both worlds.
Exactly. And it's not just about fun and convenience either. This level of connectivity could completely change a lot of industries that rely on the the ocean.
Okay, my mind is already racing with possibilities. Give me some example.
Well, think about commercial fishing fleets for a second.
Okay.
With reliable high-speed internet that could get real-time weather data, market prices, even use advanced navigation tools.
That would make their jobs so much easier.
And safer and potentially more sustainable, too.
How so?
If they have more information, they can make better decisions about where to fish, which could help reduce bycatch and protect the environment.
That's amazing.
And then you have research vessels. Scientists could send huge amounts of data back to shore instantly. They could control underwater drones and sensors remotely and even collaborate with colleagues all over the world as if they were in the same room.
So Starlink could help us understand the ocean even better.
Exactly. It could really accelerate the pace of research and lead up some incredible discoveries.
Wow, the possibilities are endless.
They really are. And let's not forget about safety at sea.
That's always a top priority.
Absolutely. Being able to communicate reliably, even in the most remote areas, could literally save lives.
How so?
Distress signals could be sent out faster, search and rescue operations could be coordinated more efficiently, and weather warnings could reach more boats, potentially preventing accidents and saving lives.
It's like having an invisible safety net around anyone who's out on the water.
Exactly. It changes how we think about safety at sea.
Okay, so we've talked about the big picture impact, but what about individual yacht owners right now? How can they use this technology to improve their experience today?
Well, besides staying connected with friends and family and all the entertainment options,
Right.
we're seeing more and more people using Starlink for automation on their yachts, creating what they call smart yacht
A
systems.
smart yacht. I've never heard of that.
It's basically using technology to make life on board more comfortable, convenient, and efficient.
Okay, give me an example.
With Starlink's strong internet connection, you can control things on your yacht remotely, like the lights, temperature, security systems, even the navigation.
So it's like having a remote control for your entire yacht.
Exactly. Imagine you're coming back to your yacht after a day of exploring, and you can use your phone to turn on the AC, preheat the oven, even start playing some music.
So you step on board and everything's perfect.
Exactly. It's all about creating a personalized, seamless experience. And if you have Screw on board, it can make communication and coordination so much easier.
It's like having a digital command center right in your pocket.
And this is just the beginning. As the technology keeps developing, we'll see even more innovative applications that blur the lines between life on land and life at sea.
It's hard to even imagine what the future holds.
I know it's exciting, but it's also important to remember that some people might want to disconnect completely when they're on their yacht.
Right, escape the digital world for a while.
Exactly. Starlink is about having the choice. It's not about forcing people to be connected all the time.
It's about options.
Exactly. You can still escape the digital world and enjoy the peace and quiet of the ocean. But if you need to stay connected or want the benefits of high-speed internet, you have that freedom.
And for a lot of yacht owners, that freedom is priceless.
It is. It allows them to have the adventure and relaxation of yachting without giving up the conveniences of modern life.
This has been a really fascinating look at Starlink at sea.
It has.
It's more than just a technology. It's a whole new way of thinking about life on the water.
Absolutely, and we're just at the beginning of this journey. As Starlink grows and evolves, we'll see even more amazing things and have even more questions about the relationship between technology and the ocean.
Speaking of questions, we talked earlier about how important it is to choose an installer who understands the yachting lifestyle.
Right, not just the technical stuff.
Exactly. They gave that example about placing the Starlink router where it's accessible but also protected from the elements.
Oh, yeah, that was a good one.
Or knowing how to connect the system to the yacht's electrical system without causing problems.
It's about thinking ahead and finding solutions that work technically but also fit seamlessly into the yacht.
It's a delicate balance.
It is, and it goes beyond the initial installation, too. Yachts are constantly moving, going to different places, facing different weather conditions.
Right.
A good installer will think about things like signal obstructions from the masts, the best way to secure the dish in rough seas, and even how to fix problems remotely if the yacht is far away.
So they need a lot of different skills.
They do. It's a mix of technical expertise, problem solving, and a deep understanding of what it's like to be on a yacht.
It's like they need to be part tech expert, part sailor, part mind reader.
Exactly, and that's why Marine Data Solutions emphasizes choosing an installer with a proven track record, a commitment to ongoing support, and a real passion for yachting.
And they also talked about communication and education, right?
They did, because for a lot of yacht owners, Starlink is still new and a bit confusing.
Right.
They believe in explaining things clearly, setting realistic expectations, and providing support so that owners feel comfortable using and managing their Starlink connection.
It's about empowering the owners.
Exactly. It's not just about installing the equipment. It's about building a relationship and becoming a trusted advisor.
That makes a lot of sense.
It does. It's about going beyond just the transaction and becoming a partner in helping people enhance their yachting experience.
I like that, a partnership built on trust, expertise, and a shared love of the yachting lifestyle. So as we move on to our final thoughts, I want to leave our listeners with this idea. Starlink at sea is not just about faster internet or streaming movies in exotic locations.
It's bigger than that.
It's about changing how we think about connectivity exploration and the relationship between technology and the ocean.
It's a shift that's happening right now, and the most exciting parts are still to come. As Starlink keeps evolving, we'll see even more incredible advancements and have even more questions to ponder.
Before we get too philosophical, let's take a quick moment, and then we'll come back to explore the deeper implications of Starlink and what it all means for the future of yachting. We've talked about all the cool things Starlink can do, the tech stuff, even how to find a good installer.
Right, we've covered a lot.
But I feel like there's this bigger question, almost like a philosophical question.
Okay, I'm curious. What do you mean?
Well, for centuries, setting sail meant leaving everything behind, embracing the solitude,
That classic image of a ship disappearing over the horizon.
Exactly. But with Starlink, it's like you're bringing the whole digital world with you.
That definitely changes things.
It really does. It makes you wonder, what does it even mean to explore, to be at sea anymore?
Right. It's not this disconnecting force anymore. It's a place where you can be as connected as you want to be.
And that's what I really appreciate about Marine Data Solutions' approach they get, that it's all about choice.
It is.
It's not just about giving people internet. It's about understanding how that connectivity fits into the whole yachting experience.
They had this example that really stuck with me. Imagine a yacht owner who values their privacy.
Okay.
A typical installer might think, okay, the best spot for the Starlink dish is the highest point on the deck for the best signal.
Makes sense technically.
But what if that spot is right above the owner's private sunbathing area?
Oh no.
Suddenly, their peaceful escape is ruined by this buzzing piece of technology.
Not so peaceful anymore.
Exactly. Marine Data Solutions says a good installer thinks about those lifestyle factors too, finding solutions that work technically, but also respect the owner's vision for how they want to use their yacht.
It's like this design challenge, blending technology into an environment that's supposed to be about escaping technology.
It really is. And they go even further than that. They believe in actually educating yacht owners about Starlink.
Not just installing it.
Right. Not just leaving them with a manual and saying good luck.
So what kind of education were we talking about?
Things like managing expectations about coverage, explaining how data usage works at sea, even helping owners customize their network settings to get the best performance for their needs.
It's like that saying, give a man a fish he eats for a day, teach a man to fish.
He can stream Netflix while reeling in a tuna.
Exactly. It's about empowering people, not just giving them a tool, but showing them how to use it to its full potential.
Exactly. Marine Data Solutions wants yacht owners to understand Starlink, manage it, make it their own.
I love that this conversation has really opened my eyes. We started with bad internet on a yacht, and now we're talking about the future of the ocean.
It's amazing, right? And we're just scratching the surface. As Starlink expands, feeds get faster, and new applications come out, who knows what's next.
Maybe we'll have virtual reality tours of coral reefs or holographic meetings on the deck under the stars.
The possibilities are endless.
They really are. What's clear is that how we work, relax, explore, even how we connect with nature from our yachts is going to change. And companies like Marine Data Solutions, with their focus on both technology and the yachting lifestyle, are going to be leading the charge. So for anyone listening who owns a yacht or dreams of owning one someday, here's the takeaway. Starlink at sea isn't just about being connected.
It's about freedom.
It's about the freedom to choose how you connect and how you integrate that connectivity into the incredible experience of being on the water.
And like always, the journey is just as important as the destination. So whether you're sailing to a far-off island or just enjoying a sunset cruise, keep exploring, stay curious, and embrace the possibilities that technology like Starlink is bringing to yachting.
Beautifully said. A huge thank you to Marine Data Solutions for sharing their insights with us. For anyone who wants to learn more about Starlink for yachts, be sure to check out their website at mention the URL from the source.
And until next time, may your seas be calm, your internet connection strong, and your adventures amazing.
Happy cruising, everyone.